Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit the like buttons. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. Some big transfer updates for you this morning. Quite a lot to sink our teeth into as well. So really intrigued to get your views, your opinions and your takes on many of the stories that are circulating in the world of football today. And I wanted to start with Liverpool. It's been a very quiet transfer window thus far. A few links to the likes of Rabiot, who we're going to get onto a little bit later. But a story that I saw a number of the big Liverpool accounts talking about in the last 24 hours is Van Dijk potentially leaving Liverpool this summer. And it is said that Liverpool are demanding a fee of around 46 million to sell the 33-year-old central defender. It remains to be seen whether the Saudi Arabian clubs are prepared to pay this much for him. Van Dijk is one of the best defenders in the Premier League. I still think that is an undebatable fact. And of course, he could prove to be a very high-quality acquisition for a Saudi Arabian club. But this talk isn't going away. You've heard him himself speak about his future, both internationally and from sort of a perspective of his club career. What does he want to do? He's going to sit down and think about it. This could be a player that Liverpool cash in on. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to scaremonger. I mean, people say it in different ways from different parts of the world. But I don't necessarily think that this is a deal that holds no water, that the exit of Van Dijk is such an alien concept to most Liverpool fans. But I want to know, Liverpool fans who watch the Football Terrace, I want to get your take on this. I want to understand where you're coming from in relation to this. I want to understand it because this is such an important, such a key, such an important figure over the sort of recent years. How would you feel about him leaving this summer? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Now, we've seen Manchester United linked to a number of midfielders in recent days with Mendy and Rabiot. A report that's come out today is that Manuel Ugarte is to become Man United's third summer signing, having already landed Joshua Zirkzee and Lenny Euro, giving the latter his debut in the Rangers win yesterday. They also remain in talks with PSG over a move. According to L'Equipe, the move could be imminent after the midfielder agreed terms with the Red Devils. And I, for one, would be very excited about this. We've seen the personal terms are agreed. We've seen the speed of which that Manchester United are operating so far this summer. A lot of rivals' heads being turned. A lot of Man United fans actually happy, not just with the players, but the speed of transactions, the swiftness of getting players in before pre-season, some subtle changes to the style of play, and lots of different areas of our operation looking so different now compared to just 12 months ago. This also links into a story involving Arsenal today because, yes, we're now linked to Zubimendi. There's talks that we're looking at Xavi Simons, who is more of a forward player but can play in the attacking midfield roles. Of course, you've seen the links just 24 hours ago stating that Man United are close to signing Rabiot. But it's now emerged that Arsenal have emerged as a potential suitor for the French midfielder Rabiot, who recently became a free agent after his contract expires. The Gunners join a host of clubs, including Liverpool and Manchester United, vying for the 29-year-old signature. And this report states that Arsenal are going to push for him, that Arsenal are now going to make a move. So, look, I think a lot's up in the air as of right now. If we look at this from a United point of view, I think United want Ugarte. I think he's a top target for us. But we've seen already this summer, Man United will work on 2 or 3 deals in tandem in case their primary target doesn't go through. And I do believe that Ugarte is that primary target for Manchester United. But Arsenal fans, when it comes to Rabiot, you know, a number of Liverpool supporters have spoke this summer about how they'd be really interested in bringing him in. Man United fans have said the same. If Rabiot is available on a free transfer to join Arsenal this summer, what are you saying? Genuinely, what are you saying? Are you excited? Are you frustrated? Is it the type of signing that you want and need? We saw a report a few weeks ago saying that Arsenal may focus on the Jorginho, Trossard type signings. Not too old, but not kids. Good experience, good understanding of the game. Rabiot kind of fits that bill. And if it's true that Ugarte is an imminent deal, that Ugarte is going to join Manchester United, I hope the Zubimendi links are true. And Arsenal was seemingly leading that race from a Premier League perspective, seems to have gone quiet. Could Rabiot now be the answer for the Gunners? Let us know in the comments section below. Let us know what you think and feel in relation to that. Now, staying in North London and keeping in sort of this Man United connection, there's a report today in the Evening Standard where sources at HIJACK claim that Spurs could be about to make a shock move for Mason Mount. It says Mason Mount could make a surprise departure from Man United this summer, with Tottenham amongst the clubs reportedly keen on him. The midfielder joined United for 60 million last season, but saw his first year derailed by injury amongst other issues, if I'm being honest. Now, for full disclosure, a number of journalists have said that Man United could be open to Mason Mount leaving this summer. Fabrizio Romano has come out and shut that down and said, no way, this isn't happening. Doesn't mean it's true. And I'm not discrediting Fabrizio in any way, any shape or any form. Famously, he said this for 3 months about Lukaku. He left Inter. He ended up signing City. This has been the summer of the outlier. The amount of these big transfer stories that have been broken first by, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but the sort of less respected journalists, the names that we may not have heard of so much. I've said it for years and I'll reiterate it again this summer. You don't just discount somebody because they're not Fabrizio or David Ornstein. Ornstein and Fabrizio typically tweet about and put out information on these deals when they're very close to fruition. And I think they've earned that right. They really do try and go for accuracy. Where a lot of other sports, that's because they're transfer journalists. A lot of sports journalists are not worried about the outcome of a transfer rumour. It just doesn't even appear on their radar. They're just telling you, the football world, me, the football fans of this world, what they're hearing, what may happen. So I'm not going to discount the idea that Mason Mount could leave. Would he be a good signing for Tottenham? I don't know. I'm not Mason Mount's biggest fan. If he stays at Man United, of course I hope it works out. Of course I hope we get the very best out of him. If Tottenham sign him, is there any different to a Conor Gallagher? They've also been linked to Scott McTominay. So maybe that is a kind of profile they're looking for. Average technically, hardworking, likes to press, maybe can score a few goals every now and then. You tell me. But it seems the one thing I would say about Spurs, there seems to be a pattern to these sort of British-style midfielders that Big Ange Postecoglou is looking at. But give me your thoughts and feelings below. Now, when it comes to Chelsea, Lukaku agrees to the Napoli move. It says that Lukaku is given the green light to move to Napoli this summer. Sky Germany reports that the Belgian has agreed a 3-year contract with the Serie A club. However, no fee has been agreed with Chelsea that want around 35 million. Napoli want to spend closer to 20. Now, what's really interesting is not just for transfer income, but for wages, Chelsea really need to remove this individual. He earns colossal amounts of money and he doesn't feature in their plans. Another story that's been put out simultaneously on the Evening Standard is that Chelsea turned to agent Cole Palmer to convince Ollie Watkins. And there's obviously talk here that Chelsea may go in for Ollie Watkins. They may start to see him as the number one striker target, etc., etc., etc. Now, I know that Villa are in the Champions League. I know that Villa are in a better position now in terms of the league than Chelsea. I understand this. But I don't subscribe to this notion that a player like Ollie Watkins wouldn't look at Chelsea over Villa. They're still a more high-profile club. I still don't think they've lost their pull. A player like Ollie Watkins could easily send them back into the Champions League this forthcoming season. With his ability in front of goal, his speed, his power, his technical ability, this individual could be one of the missing pieces of the jigsaw that help Chelsea. I think he's a perfect age, perfect profile, everything about him. I think is exactly what this Chelsea team needs. The Tossins and the Dewsbury Halls fit that mould of already well-aged, well-experienced, in this case, Premier League proven as well. That's not always the most important thing, but it can play a factor that these young players at Chelsea need to thrive off. So I know this is going to be scoffed at by Villa fans. I know that a lot of the media is going to say, no chance, absolutely impossible. I don't subscribe to that notion. I believe if Chelsea put their money where their mouth is, they could convince a huge percentage of football players to leave whatever club in the world they're at to join Chelsea, even in this situation. Now, whether I believe this rumour to be true or not is a different story to could it happen if it was a real story versus do I think it's going to happen? I'm not sure. Every time there's links like this, Chelsea shut it down pretty quickly with it's too expensive, the wages are too high, doesn't kind of fit within our target audience. They're still talking to Ati about Samu Amarodian, who, look, I just don't think is the guy. The same as I didn't think Duran was the guy either. I think that Chelsea have really got to be aiming at Ollie Watkins level, Osimhen level, if they really want to stand a chance of getting back into the Champions League this forthcoming season. But that's just my view. I'd love to get yours. I'd love to understand what you think and feel. As ever, look, leave us your views. Leave us your opinions in the comment section below. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.